Greetings. Blessings to the Most High Yahweh. Blessings to the universe. Blessings to the ancestors. Blessings to the Yeshua consciousness. Blessings to the collective. Blessings to everyone that's watching right now. I hope everyone's blessed and well. I go by the name of MagneticIntuition. This is actually my first video, and it's unfortunate that my first video has to be as controversial as it is, but my life has actually been under attack since I was born. And I'm going to break down every step in detail of what's been going on in my life so you can understand, so you don't have to go through what I've been through. So let's get started. So, I've been under attack by the Freemasons, Eastern Stars, the Illuminati, and whatever else, Satanist, Luciferian, devil worshiping group that's out there. And the reason I believe I'm being attacked is for many reasons, but the main reasons is, number one, I'm an earth angel, and it's interesting how I found that out, but I'll get to that. And I'm here to bring love to the universe, bring love to the mankind, to bring peace. You know, we're going through it, and as humans, we're going through it. This is like a big ghetto on earth, you know, and the illusions are real. They're real, you know. The devil uses any weapon to destroy us and kill us, you know. So we have a choice, you know. Are we going to be with the light, or are we going to be with the dark? We have to decide which one it's going to be. So let's talk about what I've been going through. Okay. So, illegal surveillance. I've been having illegal surveillance. My cell phones have been hacked. My laptops have been hacked. Hell, my car has been hacked. I've been tracked everywhere I go. And these are all attempts to get me to commit suicide. And of course, that's not going to happen. I've done too much for this world, this universe. I've done too much. I have too much love in my heart for myself to take any crazy, any endangerment to myself. I'd never do it if I can control it. But there's tactics that you call gangstalking, and gangstalking is when I guess you could say satanic government agents send Freemasons and Eastern Stars and other agents to follow you everywhere you go, to parks, grocery stores. They followed me to Africa. I went to 7 countries in Africa. They followed me everywhere. Everywhere I go, they follow me. They surveillance me in my rooms, anywhere that I stay. If I stay in an Airbnb, if I stay in a hotel, because I travel for work. When I was living with my sister, same thing, surveillance. They see everything, you know. If I'm taking a number 2, they can see it. If I'm dressing, they can see it. They've seen me have sex. I'm sure they've put those on dark web somewhere, you know. But I've been violated, you know, and it's illegal surveillance, you know. And they've sent fake lovers to me. They've sent fake lovers to me. And I found all this out through process of elimination, you know. It's kind of like this. Once you go through something which pertains to like witchcraft, there was a chick that I was dating, and I I was asleep and I seen her levitating over me, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, yo, like, why is she levitating over me? Like, I'm confused here. You know, I used to smoke weed, so a couple of years back, you know, she got me some weed. She always used to give me weed or whatever. And I smoked it, and I was hallucinating. And I didn't know that she actually did witchcraft on the weed, so marijuana. So I'm looking and I'm like, yo, like, is this real? So I see her levitating over me. I run out the room. I'm at her crib in Miami. So I'm from Houston, by the way. I live in Houston. Not anymore, though. We'll get to that. But I run out the room and I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck just happened? Excuse my French, but like, what just happened? I'm asking her, and she's like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, yo, I just seen you levitating over me. Like, what's going on? And she came up with some BS story talking about, yeah, you know, there's a guy, he's a killer, and you know, he brought his demons, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped dealing with chick, and when I stopped dealing with her, I noticed that gangstalking got real, but I didn't know what it was at the time. So I stopped talking to her. Apparently she's a witch, an Eastern Star, right? I stopped talking to her. So let's fast forward. So I head out to Africa for 7 months. This is like a dream to me, right? I do contracting work in healthcare IT, where it's called Epic, actually. Epic in Cerner. We pretty much train like staff how to use the system in different departments: radiology, lab, on the floor with the nurses, on the floor with the physicians, and etc. So I go out to Africa for 7 months. First country I hit is Ethiopia. Wow. So I get on Tinder, and I link up with a chick, and I found out she was a pretty much a fake, you know? She was sent in by the agents, you know? So this whole time they were trying to pretty much sacrifice me. So they'll send me fake lovers, and you know, I had no idea what was going on at the time, you know? So previously, there was a couple of other people I knew out there in Ethiopia. One of the guys was from America. He's from America, whatever. He was like, bro, like, when you come out here, we're gonna go to North Ethiopia for Timkit. Timkit is like a big holiday celebration up in North Ethiopia. So I was like, bet, you know, I'm gonna come out there. But before I went out there, I got a vision. For my spiritual team. I was driving one day in Orlando before I went to Africa, of course. After the situation in Miami, and I went to like the crystal store, and I bought some crystals or whatever, you know. And there was a particular crystal I bought by the name of malachite. And it's connected to, how can I say this? It's connected to my astrological chart. I'm a Scorpio, and it connects really well with Scorpios. So anyway, I buy it, and I had just came from taking the edible. This is around the time when I was using marijuana, but I don't deal with marijuana anymore, and I'll get to that. And as I'm driving, I get like a hint in my, you know, I get like a spiritual download, and the spirit was like, yo, don't deal with the guy, the American that's in Ethiopia. And I was like, what? And then when I agreed to it, I was like, spirit, yes, you know, I'm gonna listen to you. And this is while I'm driving. Then all of a sudden, like, everything in my vision turned into crystals. Like, it was like, I don't know if y'all familiar with Atlantis, but it's almost like I had a flashback of Atlantis. I was real confused. Like, I didn't know what it was at the time. Now that I think about it, I believe that I've been reincarnated several times, and this is why, one of the reasons why I figured out that I was an Earth Angel, and this is why they were attacking me and trying to get me to sacrifice myself. Trying to get me to commit suicide, or them trying to sacrifice me. So I got that download. So I didn't deal with dude, but the problem was the dude that was in Ethiopia, that's American. He's a Freemason. So when I got out there, they were already tracking me and everything. You know what I'm saying? He had already hacked an old phone of mine, but I went out to Ethiopia with a new phone. So they were hacking everything. They were already hacking my phones and stuff. And but with the new phone, it wasn't hacked. So there was a day where I met a chick in Ethiopia from Tinder, and they sent her in to get me robbed. So she had me walk down the street one night, and this is like the first day I met her. This isn't somebody I knew on a regular. This is just somebody I just went to a coffee shop with. Coffee is a big thing in Ethiopia. Went to the coffee shop. Then she was like, yo, let's go to another spot, and she showed me the place. I was like, bet. I was like, yo, let's take a taxi. She was like, nah, it's okay. Let's take the street. Bad idea. Walked down the street. Some homeless looking people walked up on us. And all I know is somebody jumped. It was like 7 people, yo, I kid you not. Like a bunch of homeless people walked past us. Like 4 dudes, a kid, and like 2 ladies. And the next thing you know, somebody goes in my pocket, takes my phone. Didn't even take my money. Takes my phone and just blazes out. And this is within like I want to say 2 months. No. Damn, was it 2 months? I want to say I had been in Ethiopia for 2 months, if I can remember at that time, because I went out there for 3 months, and then I left, and I'll explain that. So they stole my phone and burnt off with it. So I'm like devastated. I've never been robbed before. I'm looking for cops, no cops. So at this point I didn't know I was getting set up. Like I didn't know like it was orchestrated for the cops not to be around. Because we're in like a downtown area, but we had just went through a really dark side street, So anyhow, that's when everything started. Got into Airbnb. They went back to my Airbnb, and when I went back, the lights were out. The electric was out for 2 weeks. And next door to me was 2 other Americans. One couple and then another guy that was next door to me. And they left after the electricity was out for like a day or 2. They left, so I didn't know what was going on because I didn't even know this was possible. So that was my second encounter dealing with these secret societies, not even understanding. And then while I was in Ethiopia the whole time, people were just watching me, People were watching me. Everybody that I damn near met was a part of this whole thing, getting paid for this, So I leave Ethiopia and I head out to South Africa. And I stayed in South Africa for like 2 months. One of the guys I knew from Tanzania, 2 guys I knew from Tanzania, they were driving trucks. They were driving vehicles from South Africa to Tanzania. So from Johannesburg to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And while they were driving the cars back and forth, they were getting paid really good money. And one of the homies, he was like, yo, like, when you headed to, because my next move was going to be Lusaka, Zambia. And he was like, yo, when I'm headed to Dar es Salaam, you going to drive with me. I'll bring you there, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, bet, I'm going to go. So long story short, he wasn't around when I went. So I made it out to Lusaka. I was in South Africa for 2 months, by the way. Just Johannesburg and Durban I stayed at. head out to Lusaka, Zambia, and I was out there for a bit. And I stayed at a couple of Airbnbs. One of the Airbnbs, I met a dude from London, and I believe he was a Freemason. And pretty much he was spying on me, you know. And while I was out there, he introduced me to some of his family members. I met some people. We used to go out and stuff, go hang out. There was one particular night I linked up with a chick that I met out there from Tinder. And while I was out there and I met the chick from Tinder, we chilling at her people crib or whatever, and she's like, yeah, you know, you could just spend the night, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, huh? I'm confused, because I'm like, I was gonna head back, and she was like, no, just spend the night or whatever. I was like, bet, I'll spend the night. The reason why she had me spend the night was because the Airbnb that I was staying at, there was a German dude. He was a Mason. He was staying there at the same Airbnb I was staying at. And the Airbnb that I was staying at, I believe that the owners of that Airbnb were also part of the secret societies as well. Some crazy, crazy shit, man. So anyway, all she was doing was distracting me, because when I spent the night, he went up in my Airbnb room and basically went in my laptop, basically hacked my joint, hacked my phone. He was trying to take my crypto, and I'm gonna get to that, because crypto is a big deal, you know. That's like one of the things that they stole from me. They stole crypto from me too. And when I returned the next day, he was gone. So I didn't know what happened. I was like, yo, like he was already strange. He was like, yeah, you know, do you mind if I take a picture of you? You know, I have a collection of pictures, you know, for vacation and stuff. And me not knowing about witchcraft, I'm like, cool, you know, no problem. I don't even know nothing about it, you know. I feel like I'm living a really good life. I'm on a seven African countries I'm visiting in 7 months. I'm like, yo, I'm living a life, like, yeah, whatever. But I come to find out that it was for witchcraft, and we're gonna get to that. So I leave Zambia, and then I head to Tanzania. So when let me rewind. So before I left, I was in Lusaka. I traveled down to South Zambia to Livingstone, right? Livingstone is where you have the Victoria Lakes. Beautiful place. Beautiful, amazing place. Breathtaking, I'm telling you. So while I'm out there, I get in the hotel or whatever. The next day, I'm like, I'm going to Victoria Lakes, whatever. Very next day, and a guy pops up, a Zambian pops out, and he's like, and I'm talking to the lady at the front desk. I'm like, how do I get there? Is there like a taxi or whatever? And he's like, oh, I got him, no worries. I'll bring you. You know, I'm like, who the fuck is? I'm just thinking, like, who is this guy? Like, where does he come from? But once again, I hadn't been through much, so I'm just like, all right, whatever. You know, let me get some connections popping, whatever. So he ends up bringing me to Victoria Lakes. But before we go hang out, and I meet some other guys that were Masons. His homeboy from Zambia, then a Caucasian guy from, I don't know where he was from. I think he was from Europe somewhere. And so we go to Victoria Lakes, have a blast. He's showing, we get in for free and everything. Like, I just act like I was a local, and we just got in for free. Had a great time, exchanged numbers with him. He brought me to like one of his business meetings. And in a later video, I'll explain that whole thing. But pretty much, what these like devil worshippers, Satanists, Masons, Eastern Stars do is they try to use an earth angel to benefit off the energy. It's the spiritual world is real, you know. Don't ever underestimate it. Like, this is just all meat, you know what I'm saying? But the spirit is everything. So just keep that in mind. So back to what I was talking about. So I went to the meeting, and I guess I was supposed to be his good luck charm, but he didn't win. So he didn't win the contract. He's supposed to be like a civil engineer or something like that. He was trying to get a contract, and he didn't win it. So anyway, fast forward, his homeboy was still in Livingston. He gave me a ride. He gave me a ride to the bus station, and but before I get there, the homie from Tanzania that was in South Africa, he was driving past Lusaka, because you gotta pass Zambia to get to Tanzania. So my next trip was gonna be Tanzania, but I told him, I said, hey bro, can I ride with you from Livingston, Zambia to Lusaka, Zambia? And he was like, yeah, cool, whatever, it's all good. It was a 7-hour drive, so I'm like, bro, if I could get a ride with the homie, let's do it, He ended up, like, not even showing up, you know what I'm saying? He hit me up on WhatsApp, and I asked him, I was like, yo, bro, where you at? And he was like, yeah, I'm like an hour away. Then I ain't hear from him again. So that was very suspect. And I stopped talking to him, and then later on I found out that he was a Mason. And crazy, man. I mean, they like trying to like destroy my life in any way possible. So I ended up taking a bus from Lusaka, pretty much a van from Lusaka to from Livingston to Lusaka. So anyway, I leave Zambia and I head to Tanzania. So I head to Tanzania. I stayed there for like 2 weeks. I was in Zambia for 2 months. I go to Dar es Salaam, stayed there for like 2 weeks. Had a great time. Didn't holler at him, the dude I was just talking about, because he had like stood me up, So I'm not rocking people like that. I leave Tanzania. Went from Dar es Salaam, which is like the coast with the beaches, coastal city, to Arusha, where I met my play sister. Kind of found out she was in on it too. And then from there, I went to a smaller town, which is like 2 hours away. And I can't remember the name, be honest with y'all. I can't remember the name. And met up with somebody else I know. So from there, I went to Kenya, South Kenya, and met up with someone I knew from Kenya. They pretty much drove to the borderline of Tanzania and Kenya, and we drove to Kenya from there. And I had a good time in South Kenya. She was a part of the group too. She introduced me to one of her friends. Her friend was supposedly a tour guide, so he pretty much was like, yo, like I could get you a tour in the coastal city in Kenya. I was like, yeah, let's do it, let's do it. So we went to the coast, had a blast, had a great time, but I noticed something. I noticed that he was taking pictures of my eyes, and I found that pretty weird. I'm not hip on game. So pretty much with witchcraft, what they do is they take pictures of your eyes, and then they use the pictures of your eyes to base, and hair as well. They use hair as well, and other items they use, your personal items where your energy is connected to do their witchcraft. And it's pretty crazy, Like I had no idea people live like this. But anyway, enjoyed my stay in Kenya. Stayed there for 2 weeks. Then I went to Rwanda from there. Went to Rwanda, and I met up with some friends. I've been to Rwanda, I've been to Kenya before, so I knew people ahead of time. And I also found out that they were also agents. So, as you can see, everyone that I'm meeting is already designed and orchestrated for me to meet devil worshippers, Satanists, Luciferians, whatever you want to call them, Masons, whatever, Eastern Stars, whatever you want to call them, right? These are paid people to track me. Just crazy, man, crazy. So from Rwanda, I spent 2 weeks there, and then from Rwanda, I went to Uganda. Went to Uganda for 2 weeks. When I got to Uganda, I took the bus. Now, from Rwanda to Uganda, it's interesting because there was a European that actually was following me. And I was sitting dead in the front. I was the first person to buy a ticket for that bus. Because in Africa, most countries, right, in the East at least, right, they don't buy tickets ahead of time like America. In the U.S., they buy tickets ahead of time and try to get a good seat, get something comfortable. But when it comes down to being in Africa, African countries, it's a whole different ballgame. We're dealing with folks that are going to buy tickets the same day. Or maybe the day before. Maybe, right? But they're going to go to the box office and buy it right then and there. And it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's culture. It's culture, no problem. So there was a European. He came on the bus, and he was the only European on the bus. So he came on, and he was like, he paid somebody to sit near me because I was dead in the front. Like, I was right behind the driver, literally. So there was a Rwanda lady sitting right near me, and all of a sudden she disappeared, and he came on. So he came on, and we were talking, and then to fast forward everything, he was like, "Are you an agent?" And when he asked me that, I didn't have nothing to say. Like, I was like the most confused person in the world because I couldn't believe, like, this guy is the only European on the bus. He paid somebody to sit so he could sit near me. He would dare ask me if I'm an agent when he's an agent 1,000%, So I just didn't even answer him because I was confused. It was like one of the moments where you're like, your mind boggled. You're like, yo, like, what's going on here? Like, am I missing something? An agent is asking me if I'm an agent? Like, where are we getting this from? So anyway, we continue our ride, and he's constantly telling me that he doesn't have nowhere to stay, and he's gonna have to look for a place. And so Earth Angels, this is another thing. We're empaths, right? Like, we care for people, right? Not saying that the average person don't care for somebody, but I'm just saying it comes with being an Earth Angel. You're an empath. And he knows that. Those devil worshippers, they know that, right? Masons, whatever. They know this. So he's trying to, like, work with that. But I'm not fooling with it because I already know he's here to spy on me. So I'm like, bro, even if he wasn't, I'm not going to, introduce someone into my Airbnb that I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to get back to America, at the end of the day. So we go our separate way. The next day, I go out, and as I leave, I notice another European on the first floor. I'm on like the 4th floor, and there's like 4 floors, right? And there's a European on the 1st floor, and I'm looking, and I'm like, yo, something ain't right here. But I can't put 2 and 2 together because, I'm not under the impression that I'm being spied on. So I'm just like, yo, let me just let it be. It is what it is, right? So I get on Tinder, and I start matching and stuff, and there was a chick that I end up meeting, and we chopped it up for some time, for a little bit, and she came to see me where I was staying at. That was a mistake. So she was sent in. So here's the thing, right? The reason why I say that this whole operation and this whole illegal surveillance was had to been like a government thing is simply because when you look at everything, it's through all networks of Masonic networks or Eastern Star networks, whatever, right? So you have Tinder, which was under their network. Because all the women any woman that I met on Tinder, they were connected to these people. They were spying on me. Any Airbnbs that I went to was connected to these people. So that's another issue that I had, but at the time I didn't know because I didn't know I was under illegal surveillance, you know. So the chick that I linked up with in Uganda, she was like, "Yeah, I could come see you, blah, blah, blah." She came to see me, and I started noticing some weird stuff. So I was like, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and go out with a homie." You know what I'm saying? Because I knew a dude out there in Uganda. I was like, "I'm gonna go out." And she seemed really upset about it. So I walked her out, and as I walked her out, she looked over the balcony. And when she looked over the balcony, because I'm on the 4th floor, there goes the European on the 1st floor looking up. And I'm like, "Hey, do you know this guy? Like, what's going on here?" You know, because he was already suspicious, you know, but like, do y'all know each other? She ain't say nothing, and she just kept walking. I was like, "Oh shit, like, I'm being spied on," you know? So at that point I knew I was being spied on. But now who's spying on me and why? Because I don't commit crimes. I don't violate any laws. If I do, it's not gonna be anything major. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are these people spying on me, you know? So I leave Uganda and then I head back to Ethiopia, because now at this point I have to fly out from Ethiopia to get to the United States, right? So now here's the problem. Since they hacked all of my technology, they kept pushing my flights back to the US. So first it was on, let's just say, let me give you an example. First it was on August 1st, then it was August 7th, then it was August 11th, then it was August 16th, then it was September 4th. So I couldn't call anyone because it was long distance, and there wasn't any customer service or any Saudi. I was flying with Saudi Airlines, so there was like no way to get in contact with them because there's no locations in the countries I was going to but Ethiopia. So when I got back to Ethiopia, I had to make my flight, and I had to go there in person and make my flight, and that's what happened. But everything was hacked. Emails, they were deleting emails, important emails that I have. It was just crazy. Identity theft, a lot of like identity theft was going on. It's just a lot, too much to think about. And I need to rewind back. So the first trip that I took from Ethiopia, which was 7 months prior, which was January to April, and then I had to go back to Ethiopia from Uganda, which was in August, late August. Then I flew back to America in September. So that when I ended my trip between Ethiopia and South Africa, this is in April now, I had a trip in between, which was to Egypt. So the Egypt trip, I was going to have a layover for a whole day. So I was like, cool, let me go see Egypt or whatever, you know, and enjoy the pyramids. So I'm on Egypt Air for the layover because it's flying me to South Africa. And my food comes, you know, they bring the food or whatever. And I eat the food and I drink the drink. And like right before the flight ended, I had like the craziest stomach ache. Like my stomach was cramping so bad. So I was supposed to go see the pyramids, but I didn't get to see it because my stomach was like in the worst pain ever. Like I ain't never felt no pain like this before. So I believe that someone tried to poison me, which was these groups, right? These Satanist groups, right? And the reason why I believe they tried to poison me was because me and my, like I told you, I believe that I'm reincarnated. So I believe that I'm originally from Egypt, and they didn't want that connection with the spiritual connection. It's almost like I'm a key to something in Egypt, you know? A spiritual key to something in Egypt. I can't really interpret exactly what it is, but long story short, I was poisoned. And I survived it, of course. But I wasn't able to go to, the whole purpose was so I won't go to the pyramids. And there was a reason for that. Yeah. So I head back to the U.S., and as I head back to the U.S., I'm flying back from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia to Washington, D.C. And when I get on the flight, there was a father. This was all orchestrated now. There was a father and his kids, and he was like, hey, can I sit near this lady? Can I sit where you at, because I want to be closer to my kids? And I'm like, sure, why not? You know what I'm saying? No problem, bro. You can sit there if you want. So I let him sit there. So now the seat where I'm moving to is where there's two agents at, right? One guy, one Ethiopian guy, he's an agent. He's like an older guy, maybe like in his 50s. And then there's a chick. She had to been like in her upper 20s, younger 30s, So while I'm sitting there in between them, the guy, the Ethiopian guy, he's talking like real radical about stuff, and like, talking about war in Ethiopia and how it's wrong and stuff, and just like trying to feed me like everything, like that he believes that I'm into, because what happens is when they hack your technology, my technology has always been hacked. That's something I've come to know. When they hack your technology, they're watching everything you're watching. They're watching your YouTubes. They're watching everything, all your notes that you're writing, all your ideas, anything. They can hear anything that you have on the phone. They can hear it, They can hear anything you talk about on the phone. They can hear it. So that's what's going on. You got a situation where people are hacking your phone, and they're just studying you, studying you, and then they're sending people to you, false people, to get more information out of you. So I have people that's being sent to me that's supposed to be like me. So their interpretation of me was I'm a radical person, even though I'm a person of truth, I'm a person of peace, I'm a person of speaking your mind, and having justice for the people, So that's basically, he was trying to feed me what he thought I was, and I caught on to that. And the chick that was sitting near me, the Ethiopian chick that was sitting near me on the left side, she was telling me, she was getting information out of me in different ways. Hey, what do you do? Blase. And while she's getting information out of me, I haven't asked her a single question. Like, I'm not even worried about her like that. But she was worried about me. Obviously, that's their job. To take information out. So finally, when we finish our them like getting information out of me and getting all this energy out of me, I asked her, I said, hey, so like, what do you do for work? And she was like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, I am getting like full-blown spied on. I don't even know why, but I'm being spied on. So I left that day, and I was back in Houston, Texas, back home. And when I made it back home, that's when I started noticing the gang stalking, which is like harassment, following me everywhere I went, imitating everything I do. If I'm at the gym and I'm stretching a certain way, a guy's stretching a certain way. If I'm at the gym stretching or lifting weights, there's like 10 people taking pictures of me. Like, this is just real. Like, people were literally taking pictures of me like it was nothing. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, what is this? Like, I don't even understand this type of, like, what's going on here? So I want to say it was in December 2023 when, I think it was November, when my crypto was stolen. I wanted to transfer my crypto from my laptop to my cell phone, and I used different platforms. Like, let's say, for instance, Robinhood, Crypto.com, Coinbase. Let's say those three, for instance. Just examples, right? So I had to see my keys, which is like, of course, like numbers and your code to put into your phone to transfer it. So I let my code be seen on the screen. And when I allowed my code to be on the screen, I had already known, like, yo, like, if this laptop is hacked, then somebody's gonna steal this crypto. So I clicked show keys, and I tried to like get the keys and then put it on my phone real quick, and then I kid you not, like, when I finally got it uploaded, my crypto was gone. $10,000 that I spent on that crypto was gone. It was worth more than that. That's just how much I spent, but the worth was probably like $20,000, Like, it was, I got hit hard. So they were basically trying to clean me out. They wanted me to be homeless. They're still doing me like that, but they wanted me to be homeless and the whole nine. So this is when I went to like one of the homies at the time, and I was like, yo, like, he was a lawyer, and I was like, bro, like, can you connect me with the FBI agent that you know? Because he told me he knew an FBI agent, and he was like, nah, go to the police, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that much evidence. Like, I can't do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna, put my reputation at risk, because your crypto got stolen. Like, report it to the police. So, however you want to look at that is how you look at it, like, I don't know, whatever, right? So I went to the police, and when I went to the police, I noticed something strange. I noticed that the police officer that was taking my report of my stolen crypto, he didn't even put his last name down. He just put his first name, and I caught that right then and there. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on here? Like, what's really going on? This gotta be some government shit because, excuse my French, this gotta be some government shit because, yo, like, he didn't even put his last name down. Why would you just put your first name down on a report of stolen cryptocurrency? So I noticed while I was telling him my report, there was a chick that was standing on the side of me that was putting in a report. So I went to the precinct to actually make this report. I noticed the chick was right next to me making a report about crypto. And she was what you call gangstalking. Pretty much just sitting there to try to get information. What she said was she got like a $1,000 stolen from her, which was probably a lie. But she was there to see, what I was there for. Like, was I going to report it? So after I reported that my crypto was stolen, that's when like gangstalking got crazy. I was being harassed constantly every single day. And that's when a lot of the witchcraft was was getting more intense. I was getting like the craziest dreams. Like the craziest dreams. Like you wouldn't believe some of the dreams I had, you know? It's almost like, I mean, of course, they want you to commit suicide, right? Like, so they won't have no blood on their hands. But it was almost like I went through hell on earth, like for real. Like I'm still being gang stalked and all. I'm being followed, but I've overcome a lot, you know, from that time. You know, from December 2023 till now, July 2025. So a lot of the witchcraft was pretty much like people chasing me in my dreams, trying to kill me, guns and knives and all the craziness. Or it could be spirits just, you know, trying to have sex with me. Never have sex in your dreams. Never let anyone cut your hair in your dreams. Never eat anyone's food in your dreams. These are key things you do not want to do in your dreams. Yeah. Interesting things, I'm telling you. But I had every single night, these people are in my dreams, like trying to like, and I'm always slaying them in my dreams all the time. Always slaying them. Always. Always. So while I was in the U.S., of course, when I made my return, of course, while all this was going on, I started picking up on how friends were acting while this was going on, while the gangstalking was going on. And I started putting clues together and figuring out who's who and what's what, you know, and how people move and everything. And one of the things that helped me was watching tarot, actually. I was very surprised. You know, there's a guy, shouts out to the Hootie Makra. He's an herbalist. Amazing man, out there doing his thing. And he mentioned, you know, that people should listen to tarot on YouTube. And he also mentioned that you should learn your astrological chart, you know, and gain knowledge on who you are and what's your purpose, you know. And that's exactly what I did. I just followed it. I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I prayed one night in particular, and I told the Most High, I said, hey, Father, please give me the strength to get past the demons and the devil's children, please. I give myself to you. I give myself to you. Please assist me. Let the divine, let my spiritual team, let my ancestors assist me, because I need you. I'm at my lowest point in my life. I'm getting hit with witchcraft every single day, every single night. And the purpose of the gang stalking is to lower your vibrations, to lower your aura. And the more you lower yourself, those lower entities, like those Masons and those Eastern Stars, those Luciferian, satanic devils, they get closer to you. But when you keep your vibrations high, they can't touch you. So that was the goal, keeping your vibrations high. So how do you keep your vibrations high? Number one, fasting. It is no myth. It is real. You must fast. And me personally, I would say two times a week. 2 times a week. Do a 24-hour fast if you can. Or break it up, you know. The less you eat, the better you'll be able to destroy these demons. Like, it's unreal. It's the truth. So fasting is number 1. Number 2, prayer. I mean, you can interchange it. I'm sorry. Prayer is just as important, as fasting. Just as important, right? So you have both of those. 1A, 1B, right? I'm sorry. Your diet's everything, right? So I believe that GMOs were made for witchcraft, you know, to pretty much like it's demons. It's like parasites, you know. They use dye for a lot of things, you know. They use GMO for a lot of things. And if you have parasites that are put into these foods, then how are you where are you mentally, you know? How are you going to vibrate high if you're eating synthetic foods? So I would say the best thing you could do, in my honest opinion, is go vegan. Go vegan. You know, take it one day at a time. If you're not vegan, take it one day at a time, you know? You have to work on yourself. Build yourself up. I would say go vegan. They have a phase that you go through when you're going through gangstalking. Or when you're going through karma in general, right? When you get karma for what you've done in life. It's called the dark night of the soul, right? This is what I went through. And the dark night of the soul is when you dig in deep, very deep into your soul, and you start cleaning things out. It's like a vacuum. You start working on yourself, and you start from your crown, and then you start going down. You start working all the way down to the ground, right? So grounding, being outside in the grass with no shoes on, is a big plus to keep your vibrations high. To keep your vibrations high. You also have, like I mentioned before, water fasting, herbs. That's another thing that'll keep you vibrating high. If you're not afraid of crystals, you know, one thing that I noticed is, if you want to be controlled, just listen to the general public. You know, everything that they tell you not to do is what you do. It's amazing to me. Crystals, tarot, astrology, numerology, all these things helped me get through what I'm going through right now. Of course, the Most High, my ancestors, spirit, my spiritual team is number one, right? But these are different things that I had to learn so I could slay the demonic entities, the demonic people, and etc. You know? But prayer, of course, is always number one, right? Prayer is always number one. Always have the intent, send the intentions that you want to return any witchcraft or black magic back to the sender. 10-fold, 1,000-fold. Make sure you send that back to the sender. Yeah. So everything is spiritual. Let's keep that in mind. So one of the main things that I found out as well is there's a lot of family involved. I have siblings that are involved, that are witches, that I had no idea, you know. The closest people in your life, when you're a targeted individual, the closest people in your life can very well be the people that are trying to destroy you. And unfortunately, money and your life's destiny can have people coming for your head. So I have thousands, maybe millions of enemies and haters just because who I am, being an earth angel. And now I know a lot of their secrets, and my protection is too strong for anything that comes up against me. There's nothing that could come up against me because I run with the Most High Yahweh. I run with my ancestors. My blood is full of royalty. and I will not lose. So don't let people, these demonic beings, try to control you. Don't let them control you. Be yourself. Be authentic. You have it within you. You don't have to look outside anywhere. Everything that you need is within you. The Most High is within you. Your Creator's within you. Yeah. So we're on 55 minutes, going on 56, and I wanted to talk about one more thing. Definitely hair, right? So another thing that I noticed is these satanic cults, they have like taken over. Maybe it's always been like this. They've pretty much taken over like barbershops and beauty salons. And it's insane. It's insane the things that I've found out. And what I realized is, like when I used to go to the barbershop and the barbers used to cut my hair, I used to have the craziest dreams. The craziest dreams. And I learned to realize that these barbers are getting paid to give my hair to these secret societies. Craziness. All over the world. Everywhere that I went, all these barbers were pretty much in the network that I use, right? Instagram. The Cut. And there's one more site that I can't remember the name of, but this is where you find barbers. And they were paying these barbers for my hair. Yeah. Just to send me like death spells, you know? It's insane. Like when people think that people are dying naturally, they may possibly be dying from death spells. So yeah, I've been through hell and back. And I'm here to tell you that, you have to stay prayed up. You have to stay prayed up. Keep your diet right. Try to stay as clean as possible. Ground. Take baths. Take spiritual baths. Take spiritual baths. Salt baths, Epsom salt. Whatever you can do to just keep your energy clean. Do it. And at this time, I'm waiting for my justice. To be honest with y'all, I've pretty much cracked my own case. Like, the Most High has gave me so many downloads to crack my case. Like, I prayed and I asked the Most High to reveal the people that are up against me, all my enemies. And that's what the Most High did. And everything that I put down on the FBI reports were all my friends and family. And paid actors, So, and these people, they're on my Instagrams, they're on my Facebook. I mean, whatever else is out there, like, they're on it, So, it just amazes me, the things that can be revealed to you by, keeping the close, staying close with the divine. Stay. You have to be spiritual. This is all we got, Skin is everything, but it's nothing like spirituality, So let's focus. Let's focus on the mind, body, and soul. Because it's a war going on out here. And many of y'all don't even know there's a war. Like, I'm just now talking about this. And it's been going on since I was born. And I'll get to all that because it's too much. It's just too much. There's no way I could even talk about everything in one video. Even in this video, I could go on for 2-3 hours. But I'm not going to do that. Because I'm surprised right now it says 59:40. Like, I haven't even said nothing. I haven't said much yet. There's so much. But thank you for taking the time to listen to me, Magnetic Intuition. Thank you for your patience. This is my first video. You know, hey, you know, they're trying to keep me shut down. Like I told y'all, there's been attempts on my life. Every night, every single night, it's a fight for me. Every night. And I've learned to find that out even when I was a child, a young kid. I had the worst dreams ever. That I don't even know how I made it through that. And now I know why. So thank you. This is the first but won't be the last video. If I'm all over the place, I apologize. You know, I don't do this YouTube thing, but I have to get used to it. I didn't have any time to practice on anything because they listen to everything. Everything's tapped. This car is tapped. My phone is tapped. The hotel that I'm staying in to go to work is tapped. So they try to keep my anxiety levels high, you know? So it wasn't easy to make this video, but I just had to put this out there just to give y'all something, you know? I owed it to myself and I owed it to the Most High. I owe it to the people out there that's going through the same thing I'm going through. And one more thing I have to say. Out of 100% of the people in the U.S., and I've traveled all over the world, all over the U.S., right? I've been to 42 states, right? Out of all 100% of the U.S., I estimate that 40% of the people in the U.S. are demonic and are in secret societies. So I hope you take that for what it is. So be very careful. Family, friends, strangers, clients, business partners, be very careful. Don't trust anyone. Trust the Most High. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. How you build that intuition? By keeping your vibrations high, right? Thank you.